Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Gemini reading. So let's get started. If you hear a sound in the background, it's a space heater warming up, and you might possibly hear the jets flying around. Hopefully it's not too much noise going on. Okay, Geminis, what is the big change here? Maybe you've recently had a big change in your home or your career. Okay. Magician. Well then, this looks like this is something that is just starting out. So it looks like a change in career that is just taking off, or a good way to understand the Magician is if it's like for a date or pursuing someone, it's asking them on a date. It's just getting the ball rolling in some way. It's getting out of your head about something and into an action about it. So there's something that's new. I think with your career, King of Pentacles, that seems like it's changing or starting out, or let me really see what's going on here. I got the Six of Pentacles and then the Knight of Cups. Why does it seem more playful or something? Okay. Seems like an environment where there's equal exchange. I don't know. I don't necessarily know what that means, but it's almost like going from, tending to a garden or doing something where you're kind of maintaining things, like you're working on things. I'm noticing these stones and how they're kind of in this like forest area. Here, I'll hold it up so you can see it. And so it almost seems like it's going from a position where maybe, this could be interpreted a few different ways. I think first is that going from maintaining something to like equal interactions with people or increased interactions with people. It could also be this could also be going from a position where you are serving to you're actually really benefiting from what you're doing in whatever this new space is. It's like feels more like you're serving the community, or it feels like you were serving the community and you're moving into a space where it's mutually beneficial for whatever reason. What is it that is mutually beneficial? The Empress. Okay. Ooh, that could be a lot of different things. Okay. So there's something about the reflections of people. It's like whatever this new thing is, and this could also be a new way you're entering something, but I feel like it could actually be a new location, a new job, a new something, where you actually are able to kind of like hold a mirror up and show people the versions of themselves they have, the sides of themselves they haven't seen yet. And to me, it kind of looks like you're able to show like truer and deeper parts of them. So for some of you guys, that could mean like consulting and getting into this nitty-gritty and working out these details. For others of you, this might be more on a physical level, where your interactions are, your interactions with the people around you are more, or not a physical level, like a visual level. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically where you're actually able to show other people sides of what they're already looking at, but that they can digest and understand themselves from their own perspectives. It's like you're helping people gain clarity about who they are or what's going on inside of them, or what's going on in detail about something in their life that they haven't really been able to look at until now. I do see kind of this energy of like charm here, but that there's some kind of like a veil being uncovered from that. So it does seem like an energy where there could be a lot of like facade of charm, or like some greetings, some niceties, stuff like that, but then it's like getting into the nitty gritty. Also, this could signify that this is what is changing, is going from charm, being able to participate in an orderly and helpful and, you know, generally good attitude way, to actually creating something like a system, or finding a way through something that others can't really get through. It seems like creating personalized systems. So I don't really know what else that's trying to say, but that's what I see is changing for you within your career. How else can I read this if this is not a job change? I would say if this isn't a job, for those of you who this isn't like an actual career change, this could just be, you could be noticing significant changes in how you're coming off to people and communicating with them. And it's almost like you're letting yourself shine more by implementing creative ways through maybe some tougher situations, but they don't seem intolerable or ones you want to shy away from. They just seem like they're things that need to get done, you know? I could see all of that being true too, because the energy of job, like, is very, of job change or something is very prominent here. Okay. And it does feel, you know how this beginning of the reading feels pretty low key? That's how it feels, but it feels like you're getting somewhere. You're dealing with what is, and there's not all of these bows and ribbons, and, you know, there's not all of this flair around it. It just is what it is. And yeah, it's not overdone, but it's meaningful work. What else do we need to know for Gemini? I feel like if you're wondering if you should apply for something or something like that, that's probably coming out to be like, it's gonna go great. It's gonna give you something that you're not anticipating it could give you. It's gonna give you some kind of personal gratification that we're not always looking for when we go towards work, you know? All right, we got our hot air balloon. Ooh. Okay. Kind of this like discovery into the night. You could be having some like later nights than usual, where you feel a little bit more like you're pondering life more so than you normally do. coming up. It's almost like you're pushing yourself, Gemini. Maybe that's what the job energy is coming from too, is like you're just in a season where you're pushing yourself to see how I don't know how else to explain this, but it's like instead of just stopping when you want to stop, you have some kind of energy that keeps pushing you to push yourself further into something and see what comes from that when it's at its depth. And that actually seems like you're finding some really cool things there. Now, you could also be finding some not so cool things there. Let's see. Strength. Yeah. So in whatever this is, especially if you have been staying up a little later and in that, you know, no outside feedback of what is going on in your mind, and more so just it's all internalizing, you could notice that you feel pressed about certain things you're needing to work through, you're needing to kind of grapple with. Maybe there's certain uncomfortable things that are coming up. Yeah, your shadow side's just coming up. But I do see these like quick recoveries from you where you are like kind of in that mind space. Something triggers you, you start to worry, you have a moment where it could really derail you if you let it, or you can accept that you are who you are and you're going to keep moving forward, and now that's just a part of that plan. Like there's not shame to push it away, and I think that's really helping you. Queen of Fire doesn't feel shame about their shadow side. They feel actually a lot of empowerment by walking with it and acknowledging it, accepting it, and not letting other people's opinions or thoughts about it change how they deal with it or that they deal with it. It just becomes a really internalized, like, I've decided to work on this. You don't need to know anything about that. You could never know about it, and I'm still going to work on it. It's fueled by, what's the word? Integrity. It's fueled by integrity. So we have, you know how the Empress came out before? You have 3 queens here. You have the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. So whatever this is that's going, this seems more like in your mental space. There's things coming up that are uncomfortable, but you are learning to manage them. You might actually be having conversations about these things with someone kind of in private. You might also feel a little triggered and maybe feel like you recluse. And then once you remember or realign to what you're building, how you want your work to go, how you want your family life to go, it's just like the things that you're creating, then it kind of looks like you have this ability to manage and really work through what looks like a long-standing, battle with some kind of anxiety. It's just this happens to be how you're processing it, how it comes into your awareness, and then how it resolves. It's like you're in this season of your life where you're actively trying to resolve it, so it's like it's closer than it normally is. Or another way of saying that is when it hits, it feels super intense because you have so much clarity about what it is. Whereas before, maybe you had like generalized anxiety. Now it kind of looks like you can identify exactly what's making you anxious, and you have some kind of a different method to move forward from that, or to move forward with it, and to let it progress into something that doesn't have to feel like it owns you. Just something that can be with you and that you almost like love it. You not love its existence and like worship its presence in your life, but that you learn to love it in a way that it heals it. You learn to not push it away. You learn to let it be close to you if it is close to you, because it's a part of you. It's on the inside, right? So it just looks like you're learning to manage that, and that can be quite scary at times, but you are getting through those moments. And while it is bringing up these things going on, I think something that maybe is helpful to hear, or is helpful for at least an outsider to point out about these things, is that this card specifically with the Nine of Swords tells me that this has been a long solo journey where you have tried to deal with this alone for the most part. And so there is some kind of an awareness that wants to be here to try to it's trying to kind of see you here and acknowledge that the way that whatever these thoughts are interact with your mind, or from your mind, however you want to say that, it gets to the point it gets to because you felt like you've had to deal with it alone. And almost that what do I want to say? My words aren't coming out the way I'm meaning them, so I'm not sure how to word this, but I know what I'm feeling. You know what I think is happening, Gemini? I think that for so long, you've been able to identify your thoughts in things, but then there's more thoughts that might be critical of those other thoughts, or might piggyback off of those. And I think that that's how anxiety's existed in you thus far. And I think what's changing about it is that instead of having so many thoughts internally to yourself without feedback, you're learning to add emotions. You're learning to process your emotions as you're having anxiety. It's like, instead of just saying, well, I think that this is happening, and oh no, I think that that means this about me, and oh no, what does that say about my future and where I'm headed, and you know, like kind of can steamroll like that. I think it's like, oh, well, I think that this is happening, and then it's kind of coming in with this, well, here's how I feel right now. I wonder what I can do to kind of like guide that in the right direction. I know the seed that's planted. I know where I want to get to. What change can I make to get there? Like, it feels like there's just a more calm approach and more clarity on what to do in a moment that stops the spiraling of the thoughts into something where you don't feel like you have control over your inner kind of monologue. So that's kind of interesting that would come out in the Hierophant. We got some Taurus energy there. So I'm going to pull, you know what's kind of interesting? I'm going to pull one of these and see what comes out. I almost don't know if you guys are my group that wants to be all cosmic and metaphysical, or if you guys are my group. Let me pull a card. Yeah, okay. I know what it is. I was gonna give you guys one of these. Okay, well, I'll read the bottom one because it's kind of nice, but I'm for sure gonna read one of the mystical shaman ones. Where you need to be, number 26. Acknowledge how you are feeling. Have faith the universe will take care of a current concern by providing the best possible outcome for all involved. You might be a life path 8 here. Or 8s could be significant, or even the infinity symbol. Okay, for Gemini. Whoa, the drum. Okay, that card, we all see that. That one wants to be here for sure. The Andean cross. And what are you? The ghost dance. Okay. And the drum. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, let's figure this out. The ghost dance is number 22. The ghost dance is the American Plains. Oh, the ghost dance of the American Plains Indians united the spirits of the living with those of the ancestors to bring peace to the world. When ancestors are honored, they bring harmony to us. When we hold them responsible for all that is wrong with us today, they haunt us. Honor the spirits of the ancestors and receive their lessons and gifts. This includes honoring your own past lives. The ancestors have a message of healing and a powerful medicine to offer you. Create a sacred moment at your altar. Light a candle to them and let their wisdom infuse you. At this stage in your life, you are done repeating their tragic stories. Step into the abundance that is offered to you. Receive the gifts of those that have come before you and write a new story for your life. If you are trapped in a vicious cycle of nostalgia, mourning a lost youth, or opportunities missed, it is time to make an altar for the ancestors. Collect a few photos, light some incense, offer sage, and open the windows of your house to release them to their destiny and to the wind. Be wary of being snared in a relationship with someone from a past lifetime, as the people we loved or hurt have a way of reappearing in our lives. There is no learning for you there anymore. That's kind of interesting. Okay, for some of you guys, I feel like you've had the inclination to either like take your parents or your grandparents or something off of a pedestal. It seems like there was a this like constant honoring of certain people in your life, and now there's kind of this clarity of like it wasn't all perfect or something like that. I don't know. If you haven't been thinking that, don't listen, don't worry about that message. But I do feel like there's energy here where some of you guys are actually like releasing even some good things that you knew about your family. Or maybe even if you held someone from your past on a pedestal. And it's all about looking at what is here now. And it's like, it seems weird to let go of that perfect vision, right? But letting go of a vision that needs to be perfect lets you be more, lets you feel like things are more perfect in the way that they just are. Life can just exist as it is. It doesn't need to be a certain way. And for whatever reason, that feels more natural and better, even if it's not all the way you'd like kind of previously envisioned it ought to be, or that you thought it was and you were happy with that, and now you've realized that's not actually what makes you happy, is that things are perfect, just that they're real. There's some kind of like letting go of past sentiment of people or something, and grabbing onto your own personal feelings towards people and things. Like, just, yeah. And it seems great. It actually seems like you feel extremely connected. This could be something where a significant partnership is kind of like encouraging this. This could also be you working towards, or kind of like moving towards, this energy of finding a significant partnership, or finding a marriage, or finding some level of, you know, like a commitment or a dedication to spirituality in some way. Maybe even a religion. I don't know, but it does seem like this part of you is newly discovered, but it is here to stay. It feels more true and right than even a facade that you didn't know was a facade. Does that make any sense? Yeah. I also see that you guys are letting go of like trying to make things from the past okay, or trying to make them whatever. You're just kind of like, you know, it is what it is. And okay, I think I'm going to move on to the drum. I do have some thoughts that are regarding kind of like comparing the end of the Taurus reading to this reading, but I think I'm just going to trust that you guys have identified those and kind of know what fits right for you. And if you haven't watched that reading, don't even worry about it. Okay. The drum, number 15. Also, so you got the 4. This kind of came out in the upside down, right? Meaning what you thought was stable actually might not be. It might not bring you a whole lot of stability. And there's some kind of like dropping of that facade to see reality clearly so that you can increase your stability. And then number 15, which would go to the 6, moving into smoother waters. You being able to see that clearly and compare it to, or not compare it to, but kind of line it up side by side and see which one produces more results. You living in your emotions and your reality and your realness and your authenticity, versus acting like everything's okay, acting like everything's perfect, going along with people who think everything's perfect, like there's no issues, and then you're like, I feel like there's an issue, but if you say so. It's like you're moving into this space where you're like, you're just really trusting yourself. You're believing in yourself and your own compass at this point. I think that's what I see, is that it actually feels great, regardless of if there's these blips where you feel intense anxiety. The rhythm of the drum tunes you to the beating heart of the universe. Its wood frame links you to the trees and helps you journey to the lower world via the roots and the upper world through its branches. The drum skin gives the shaman the powers of the animal kingdom. Striking the drum calls forth the power of the thunder and the rumbling of the earthquake. The drum invites a trance state where healing and prophecy happen. The drum invites you to take the next bold step in your journey. The forces of heaven and earth are aligned behind you, supporting effortless action. This is not a time to push against the river. The current will take you exactly where you want to go once you jump in. Collect your power tools and summon your courage, because it is going to be a wild and glorious journey. Allow yourself to be carried by the rhythm of what is really essential in your life. You travel to the beat of a different drum. It's time to acknowledge you do not fit a mold or role or relationship that is not in tune with you. Find your rhythm. Respond to the heartbeat of the distant drum. The price you pay for lingering becomes higher with each passing day. Now is the time to move on. Some of you guys might be leaving a relationship. Some of you guys might be moving on from someone, realizing that whatever is offered there is just simply not enough for you, or it's like so different from you or something that it's hard to live in your own world because you have to keep going back and forth between the worlds. For others of you, this might be strengthening a relationship, you know? It just kind of depends on if something's going well and aiding you, or if it just keeps hindering what you want to push towards, or keeping you from self-discovery in some way. I don't know. Anyways, that's your guys' reading. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video. Bye, guys.